I'm Jessica Klein, here with CoinDesk and renowned NFT artist and former Major League Baseball player Micah Johnson. We're here to talk about what it's like to transition from pro sports to becoming one of the most famous NFT creators today.
When I was with the Dodgers, they had a new manager, Dave Roberts, and Dave Roberts is a very he's a player's coach, they say. And so he had this thing that he was doing during spring training where all the new guys had to come up, tell a little bit about themselves, and then tell the team what their hobby was. Some guys would come up and say they like to go fishing. He'd be like, okay, you got to go fishing with this guy, or you got to go do this with this guy, and like pair him with a veteran. First thing came to mind was painting, and he said, great, you got to do a painting of Maury Wills. So I went to Walmart, got these the little paints you get, the cheap canvases, and spent the rest of my time making this painting of Maury Wills. Some of these guys in the locker room were icons I grew up watching. Superstars, and they came up to me afterwards and told me how good it was and like how much they really enjoyed my painting and how talented I was. And like at that moment I thought like, wow, like this is something I can keep doing. I wasn't successful at it like in 2018. When I was playing, I had a few exhibits at Dodger Stadium and then one in Atlanta at the Woodruff Art Center. But I realized once I took the jersey off, there wasn't the same allure of this baseball player that's a painter. But I knew I loved the process of painting and loved the process of watching my work get better. And so I just dedicated myself to that and fell in love with NFTs and digital art. Aku started from, I go back to when I was painting in the garage, painting random things. There's a lot of things I painted that just don't make sense. But I was just experimenting. And then we were in North Carolina family in Indiana. My nephew asked if astronauts could be black. And so at that time, I was making my own canvases. So I just had these big canvases, 6 feet by 6 feet. Oh, wow. And I would just paint him with an astronaut helmet on and FaceTime him and show him these paintings. And it just the joy on his face to see him himself as like this massive painting was very, it was fulfilling in a way that the other art that I was creating wasn't. And so that's how it started, creating these paintings. Just to show him, like I wasn't doing anything. I had no way to like monetize this, and that turned into what we know as Aku today, as a way to reach a broader audience. After I was able to have some success in the traditional art world, we did Aku for a whole year, and there were still the vast majority of the NFT community wasn't aware of Aku. But if you look back from the masses perspective, a lot of people knew about Aku. We were the first NFT option for TV and film back in April of 2021. And that was conversation with so many different studios in Hollywood. And so they were aware of Aku after a single chapter. And then, even last year we were named to a list of Fast Company's most innovative media companies. We did 10 chapters, all on Nifty Gateway. We released those February 21st, 2021. A lot of people think like Aku's this new project with Akutars, but no, this was launched over a year ago. Again, at the end of the day, the mission is much bigger than an NFT. It's about how can we reach the largest audience possible, and if they believe in it, let's say Pusha T, for example, believed in Aku early on. To this day, like Pusha T has been rocking with Aku. He thought of his son and how this could resonate with his son and how important this could be for his son to grow up on, and just started tweeting about it. I guess expected, where you have, Aku started as something for kids, but now adults are saying, I'm going to support Aku because I want to pass that along to other kids, and like by them supporting Aku, more kids have a chance to see Aku.
Did you have an Aku type figure in your life when you were growing up?
For me, my parents taught me how to work hard. Like they show up every single day, work every day, and for me, they were like my heroes in a way because they just showed up every day on a work perspective. So I understood you had to work to become something, but then at the same time, I had this dream to play Major League Baseball since I was 3. And they encouraged me to do that and be bold in my dreams. My target demographic is not the NFT audience. It's the masses. It's people that the story of Aku, what it means to see a black character with this oversized astronaut helmet with confidence. That my target demographic is the world. It's not the NFT community. So, but I believe in the power of orchestrating a community around NFTs. Doing that with Nifty Gateway allowed me to onboard a lot of people to NFTs who maybe didn't have to bother with a seed phrase or a MetaMask or worry about someone hacking their seed phrase or connecting to the wrong site. You have this competition of so many talented people coming in with very few collectors. So I think it's more challenging now to navigate all the noise and separate that for people new coming into the space. And that's something that we're working on. I'm working on with Visa and the creator program is like, how can we help onboard people coming into the space from an education perspective on like the technology, on certain blockchains, on what it even means to mint an NFT, and all of that. And I think that's the most challenging part for anybody in the space is there's just so much competition, major brands, major companies, all coming into the space. And there's an imbalance between collectors and creators right now. To make it easy for people to collect is not that, it's not there yet. Also like curation perspective. Like you have PFPs, you have art, you have generative art, you have Top Shot, you have all these things that are kind of right now lumped together into an NFT. So they all affect each other. But like in the real world, like you have trading, people know a trading card is different than a Basquiat. It can all be traded and bought and sold, sneakers. So I think right now you're just at a point where it's hard for people to understand what the difference of things, and there's not really subcategories yet for the mass adoption to understand the difference between what NFT means what.
And what about with the market crashing now? I know a lot of people are like, freaked out about that. Does that scare you sort of about the trajectory of the Aku project and other works you have?
Well, I think the market is unfortunate. I think a lot of people lost a lot of money. But for us, like people say like this, how do they continue to grow? They lose $34 million. It's because the ecosystem was designed to be cost efficient in going from a 3D asset to linear content. It's not contingent on the price of Ethereum or Bitcoin or the value of necessarily a single NFT. If everything is on a layer that is powered by NFTs, but you have verticals across exhibits and you have a virtual world that's very entertaining and unbelievably beautiful and has functionalities and experiences in that, and then you have an incredible show that kids can watch and enjoy and people can consume, and then you have product that is unbelievable. Like all our different verticals that we're already in is not contingent on the market. We're not an NFT project. We're an IP brand that utilizes NFTs to orchestrate an audience around our IP and be able to read how they're engaging with our IP and drive value back to them. It's my job to eventually help onboard people, because I wholeheartedly believe that this ecosystem we build from film to TV to product to experiences should all live and be held together by a wallet. And I do think that is the future. Now, what does that look like and what infrastructure do you use to create these microtransactions and products and things like that? That's up for debate. But I do wholeheartedly believe that a wallet will be the connective tissue across our ecosystem. Everything we do starts as a digital asset, but then how can you bridge that out? So one single asset in our ecosystem can go from IRL exhibits like we did in Miami to a digital product that turns into a physical product to an environment that lives in a virtual world that isn't a game, but that same environment's in the movie or TV series. That's our ecosystem. So all those things, think about what can all be in NFTs in that ecosystem. Aku isn't just a character that I created. It's a platform for a lot of other people to utilize. And I think that's really important.